A door closes. Not a gate. Not a cell. A door. The kind that locks from the outside. Elwood Jones heard that sound for the first time in 1996. He would hear it every single day for 27 years. September 3rd, 1994. Embassy Suites Hotel, Blue Ash, Ohio. A woman named Rhoda Nathan, 67 years old, from Toms River, New Jersey, was in town for a bar mitzvah. She had flown in over Labor Day weekend to celebrate with her best friend's family. She was beaten to death in her hotel room. Her diamond pendant was stolen. She had done nothing wrong. She was simply there. Police arrested a man named Elwood Jones. In 1996, a jury convicted him of Rhoda Nathan's murder. He was sentenced to death. There was no physical evidence connecting Elwood Jones to this crime. None. What prosecutors withheld from the defense: more than 4,000 pages of investigatory material. 4,000 pages. 27 years is a number. It is also a life, lived inside a cage, waiting for the state to kill you for something you did not do. Every appeal filed. Every appeal denied. Every year the calendar turned and the door did not open. In December 2020, Governor DeWine placed a moratorium on executions in Ohio. Elwood Jones's execution had been reset to December 6, 2023. That moratorium is the reason he is alive. Earl Reed lived approximately 1 mile from the Embassy Suites Hotel. 1 mile. At some point after the murder of Rhoda Nathan, Earl Reed told his wife, Linda, what he had done. He said he had beaten a woman to death. He said he had framed a black man for the crime. He said it. Out loud. To another person. Linda Reed reported the confession to police after her release from jail. Police were informed of Earl Reed's confession before Elwood Jones went to trial. Before the jury was seated, before the verdict was read, before the sentence was handed down. They said nothing. The prosecution later argued the confession was hearsay. The court eventually disagreed. By then, Elwood Jones had spent more than 2 decades on death row. There was also a scientific problem with the state's case. Rhoda Nathan had tested positive for hepatitis B. Elwood Jones had a hand injury. There was significant blood at the crime scene. Hepatitis B is highly contagious through blood contact. Elwood Jones never contracted it. The court called the state's theory, in writing, scientifically implausible.
When I started making these, I thought about it. Valentine's Day.
Sewing handmade stuffed animals and donating them to charity is one way Elwood Jones says he's tried to live a positive life on death row. He says he also spent the last 27 and a half years behind bars, crafting letters.
Each day I get up, I would go sit in my cell or pull out my typewriter, usually write a letter to somebody.
Asking they re-examine his case. Jones is accused of murdering 67-year-old Rhoda Nathan in 1994. She was a guest at a Blue Ash hotel where Jones worked.
Because I'm not guilty.
Since his conviction in 96, Jones has maintained his innocence.
No matter what no one say, I did not, and I still say I did not. I'm not a murderer. I was a thief. And I'm first to tell you, I got a pass, but it's not for violence.
Last December, Hamilton County Common Pleas Judge Wendy Cross granted Jones a new trial, saying prosecutors withheld evidence, witness statements, police reports, and hotel logs favorable to the defendant.
Because they had the 4,000 pages they withheld, they had it at the time. Had they given it and disclosed it like they were supposed to, maybe we've had a not guilty 27 years ago.
Jones' defense team says they too want justice for the victim.
Justice for Rhoda Nathan doesn't mean convicting and trying to execute somebody who didn't kill her.
As Jones waits for his new day in court, he continues to pass time stitching and sewing.
I've given the people who have helped, have reached out and helped me in this. It's just my way of saying thank you.
And just a few moments ago, I did receive a written statement from Hamilton County Prosecutor Melissa Powers. She's saying they are reviewing their next steps procedurally. She called statements made by Jones' attorneys today preposterous and added for 27 years, 19 different state and federal judges found accusations of those Brady violations to be baseless.
On December 12th, 2025, Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich formally dismissed all charges against Elwood Jones with prejudice, meaning he can never be charged again. She said she was not convinced that Mr. Jones killed Rhoda Nathan. Elwood Jones became the 12th person exonerated from Ohio's death row.
A local man who spent the last 27 years on death row has gained his freedom.
Yeah, Hamilton County Prosecutor Connie Pillich dropping the case against Elwood Jones.
Brenda Ordonez has more.
Now, Pillich says that this decision was not made lightly, but followed a lengthy review of evidence and court filings that did not undoubtedly prove that Jones is the killer.
My job is to deliver justice with integrity, not go after the first person we identify as a possible suspect.
In the 1994 murder case of 67-year-old Rhoda Nathan, that person was Elwood Jones.
So I dismissed the case against Elwood Jones.
Pillich says an independent review she and an associate conducted highlighted gaps in the investigation.
We've learned of poor follow-up on evidence of multiple alternative suspects.
And within his initial trial,
A 1963 Supreme Court case says that all potentially exculpatory evidence has to be disclosed to the defense. That didn't happen in this case. I don't know whose fault it was. I wasn't there 30 years ago when it was tried, but we do know now that that happened, which gives me great
Elwood Jones is now working with Ohioans to stop executions, advocating for the 108 people still on Ohio's death row. In his own words, Elwood Jones spent 27 years on Ohio's death row for a crime he did not commit. The man who confessed to committing it told his wife before the trial. The police knew. The question is not whether Elwood Jones was innocent. We know he was. The question is who was accountable. And whether the answer to that question is no one.